Welcome to another episode of She Unleashed. She Unleashed is, of course, targeted to you as a corporate woman. You're an entrepreneur. You are wanting to do great things. You're in corporate. You're still deciding whether to stay in corporate or to do it. There are women who are doing it both, and we have one phenomenal woman who is doing just that. The energy is amazing. She is such a force to reckon, and I met her right at the beginning of COVID, maybe before, and she's an amazing personality. She is a CA by profession, but she's taken on encouraging women, putting women out there, building a sisterhood of women who will support each other in their decisions. And she'll come and tell us more. Kovini, welcome, and it's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Kunza. I'm truly honored to be here today.
Kovini, you have such an amazing story. So, just a CA qualification on its own, and doing it effortlessly, and then running this on the side that is such a big and successful organization focused on women. Who is Kovini and where does she come from?
So I come from a little town in south of Durban. It's called Shellcross. So very small community, very nurturing community. And, I grew up with a lot of love from our neighbors, from our friends, and even our teachers at high school. And I think all of that has just contributed to me, remaining grounded through the journey that I've been on thus far.
That's super amazing. And then what made you decide on following a profession that was so difficult at that point in time? I know I tried. I just decided it was not for me. But what inspired you to follow that calling?
I've always enjoyed accounting at high school, and I knew that since I had such a flair for it, that I wanted to pursue it further. I must say, when I initially started, it was just to complete my BCom. That is sort of what I was aiming for. And then, yeah, as I sort of got through year on year, I realized that, the CA dream is really not so far away. And that's really when it started to, almost become a reality to me. And it was something that I pursued. And yeah, it was really an incredible experience. I got to do my articles at a top four firm in Durban. And, the foundational elements that were taught and just being around so many like-minded people was truly exceptional.
Wow. Now tell me, I know you through Boss Babes and not necessarily through your profession. What inspired you
Yeah.
starting this big revolution? Because it has just grown and phenomenally become something of such significance for women.
So ever since I was a really young kid, I always had, I want to say I had a need to want to impact causes greater than myself. I
Wow.
remember volunteering at a soup kitchen and our local clinic in the little town that I grew up in. And I remember just feeling so fulfilled after those opportunities of being able to help people around me. And of course, then, I was studying and I was doing my articles and I was working. And I think that calling never left me. And I always wanted to find a way in my life to be able to impact causes in a bigger way. And, learning so much of skills through all the various leading organizations that I've been fortunate enough to work for. I really felt that there's a need in South Africa for us as women and, as human beings in general, to want to use our skill to empower others to be able to uplift society. And that's really where it stemmed from, a need to want to use what I have, what comes naturally to me, and be able to share that skill. Because for me, I think it's so pointless to, have all the skills in your mind and you only use it and you only benefit from it. So that's really where the concept of Boss Babes of South Africa stemmed from. And, it's grown, and I think it's really attracted so many like-minded women who are also, have come to the party and said, I'm willing to roll up my sleeves. I'm willing to also contribute my skills. We have doctors, lawyers, we've got pilots that, mentor other individuals. We really have a vast number of women that have come through with a variety of skills. And I think that's what really makes Boss Babes of South Africa such a unique platform.
So tell me, the topic for today is about breaking boundaries because if I remember well, so firstly, you broke the boundaries in being amongst the few professionals that are chartered accountants in South Africa. The second part, of course,
Yes.
is the fact that you started this big organization. And I say big because it's been a matter of months. When I met you, you were just about to start the organization.
Yes, yes.
Has really like broken boundaries in terms of what it does from a branding perspective, but also the success of women that we are seeing coming through. I met you through Boss Babes, and I was also coming out. And it also provided a bit of a platform because there were ladies there who were always, rooting for each other and
Yes,
in
yes.
supporting this. So, what do you think about your character, Kovini, is so important in really pushing for dreams and making it because it's such a tough time as well to have made it, eh?
I think, yeah, definitely we broke so many barriers, with Boss Babes of South Africa, because I think, when people think of social media and when they think of Instagram and LinkedIn, people often associate it with being a certain persona. You need to look a certain way, you need to talk a certain way, those sort of attributes. And I think me coming in as a woman of color was really wanting to create something in the market where everyone is welcome. There aren't any criteria for you to join. The only criteria that you need to have is that you want, you have got a skill and you want to contribute that skill willingly. And I think really that is the underlying success of having to break boundaries and at the same time just being authentic to myself, being authentic to say this is what I want to create in the world. Because I think we often we sit back and we complain about what isn't there. We complain about the way the world is. So for me, it was really about taking that opportunity and saying, I've we hit COVID now. The world has become digital. What can I now start to implement? And this was 15 months ago. And in a short space of 16 months, we've grown to a community of just over 15,000 followers on Instagram alone and almost hitting 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. So I think that's just the power of, breaking barriers, changing narratives, and putting something out there that is unique, because I think that is the key to social media. No one wants something that looks like something else. We all want something that is unique, that is authentic to who I am as an individual. And for me, Boss Babes of South Africa is really about me. It is an extension of me. It is an extension of who I am as a person. And it's really coming from a need to want to use what I have together with all the amazing other women that have joined to support and uplift society.
So the amazing part is this is right at the beginning of COVID, where everyone is still overwhelmed. Yet in your leadership, capacity, you find a way of directing women and helping women
Yeah.
to, refocus their energies. What is it in your character that is giving you so much confidence, Kovini? Because you did not know when you started that this thing would work. And yet you still found it in yourself to encourage other women to say, look, even if it's not complete as a picture yet, just put it out there. What do you think? I heard the part about the love, the encouragement, but sometimes you come to a ruthless world where everyone wants
Absolutely.
to bring out things when they're perfect. I mean, if it's half done, it's a big thing. What do you think has stayed on about your character to really lead whilst you're learning yourself?
I think being authentic to myself, because, even being thrown into the spotlight, as I call it, over the last 15 months has also been a learning experience. That's definitely something that I said when I started this whole journey. I was going to remain as Kovini. I wasn't going to let the opinions of other people define me. I wasn't going to let negativity and hatred bring me down, because sometimes my content is quite candid, but then again, it's coming from a really authentic place. It's coming from a place that I've experienced certain personal traumas that I want to create awareness about. And that's really what I think has been, I want to say, consistent throughout the entire journey. And just being surrounded by so many positively powerful women, I think is also a really life-changing fact for those who are listening. You want to make sure that your circle is rooting for you. You want to make sure that the women that you choose to have around you support your vision and support your dream. I mean, you're not feeling too good because we're all human beings, right? There are days where you wake up and you may not just be feeling your best, and you want to have a strong team, your tribe, to be supporting you, to be cheering you on, to be reminding you of your goal and your vision. And I think it's really the combination of authenticity and having a really amazing, powerful circle of women that have brought me to the point that I am in now.
What has the feedback been like I mean, from your friends, from people who've known you before Boss Babes and your professional circles? What are people
Yeah.
saying about it?
It's been overwhelming, the love that we get on a day-to-day basis in the direct messages. I've actually had to hire a social media manager to deal with all the messages and the emails that we get on a day-to-day basis. I think there's just so much of love. There's so much of a woman coming through and saying, hey, this is something that I want to also contribute to. And that's what we want. That is the intention of the platform. If you've got a skill, that you're good at or that you've mastered, reach out to us, because that's what we want to use the platform for. We want to utilize the platform. If you've got a skill and you want to come on and do a masterclass, teach someone something that maybe they want to learn. Maybe it's something that's always been on their mind, but they've never gotten the opportunity. And I think we also do, on a Thursday, we do In the Boss Seat, which is where we bring on an influential South African woman. I don't like to use the word celebrity, but often it is a South African celebrity that we bring on every Thursday, that comes through and really shares their journey of struggle and success. Because I think in the world of social media, all we see is success, right? We see highlight reels, we see airbrushed perfection pictures coming out every single minute. So In the Boss Seat is really about, again, being true to that particular individual's authentic self, coming through to the platform and sharing your story of success, sharing the doors that closed on your face, for example, sharing, the obstacles that you had to overcome, and just giving people real life tips as to how to cope in a relatable way with adversities. Because the truth of the matter is, whether you like it or not, you are going to face adversities and challenges. And the most important thing is, how do you as a human being choose to rise above it? And that is what our influential women of South Africa come through and really talk about and inspire our community even further.
So, what is the type of a woman that can approach Boss Babe, and what can they expect to gain in the relationship with Boss Babes?
So I think definitely we are really open to anyone that feels that they've got skill and value to offer to the platform. It is very much a philanthropic a platform. So that means that, there isn't any remuneration involved at this point. So it really is about you coming through and offering what you have that you want to share with the world. And just depending on what type of content you share, that will really guide us as to whether we put you into a masterclass, whether we put you into our Woman in Power slot, or whether we put you in the Boss Seat. So there's various elements that there are opportunities for our community to be able to use their voice, speak the truth, and share skill. But yeah, I think it's just about individuals reaching out to us if you feel aligned with the brand, and then be able to tell us what it is that you're good at and you want to, share with our community.
So, tell me, you are running a professional life, and then there's Boss Babes as a little baby that you are still, growing. Where do you find all this energy to do all of this, Kovini? And are you finding a lot more women who are really, in in professional circumstances, but also trying to, branch out into
Yes,
something new? Yeah.
absolutely. And I think my core foundation was also around celebrating multifaceted women, because I feel like in the world today, we want to put women into a box. We want to say that this is your lane, this is what you've studied, and therefore this is the only thing that you now need to be doing. And I think that is one of the biggest barriers that I wanted to break, in terms of saying, we celebrate multifaceted women, because you can choose to do as many things as you want, and there's no boundary that says that you can't be good at more than one thing. And I think society has led us to almost, judge people when you say, I do this and I do that and I do all these things. There's a sense of judgment, either intentionally or unintentionally, that comes through. I think that was the biggest barrier I wanted to break. Having a professional qualification, being a chartered accountant, working a really amazing job at a top leading a Santon-based company, and creating a woman empowerment platform, a skill sharing platform that allows me to utilize my skill, not just in my 8 to 5 job, but beyond that, because I feel like that is something that a lot of women have, see that they find that to be, adding on to their passion. It gives them something more than, I work my 8 to 5 and now we're all locked down. What do you do after that? You could watch Netflix, which I mean is really great, but for how long?
Yeah.
I think women are just really now starting to say they want to contribute. They want to, impact something bigger than themselves. And I think that is why we're getting so many phenomenal women reaching out to say this is what they want to contribute. And I think, as a multifaceted woman, you should embrace it. You should surround yourself with people that embrace everything that you are as a woman.
What is the fulfillment that you get out of this, out of Boss Babes?
I think it's just a sense of, I feel grateful for the opportunity. I feel grateful for the fact that this started off more like a hobby. It was something that I created in lockdown to let me keep myself busy. And yeah, I think the fact that it's grown so fast and people buying into who I am, because really that is the unique selling point of Boss Babes of South Africa. I think that's been really, really powerful in terms of just, people buying into a concept that is unique and something that aligns with them, because I feel like there are many organizations out there that women can go towards, and it really is about you finding yourself and then finding whether something aligns or resonates with you in a powerful way, and that's something that only you can define for yourself.
So now, after this massive success, where to next for Boss Babes?
So I think we're just going to continue to grow our community. We have some great strategic plans in the pipeline, really around bringing on a phenomenal woman to continue this masterclass trend that we're starting. We're planning to bring on psychologists, for example, just because it's COVID and people are not feeling their best, life coaches, that sort of thing, to just help, channel the negativity and uncertainty into something a lot more positive. And that's really what we're going to be doing over the next few months. All our events, of course, have been put on pause. I just don't feel like it's a great time to be having events, but I know that the time will come when we will meet together when it's safe to do so and we've all been vaccinated and that sort of thing. So yeah, I think for now it's just really about continuing to build the community. We also want to kick off our YouTube channel, which we haven't really been given a lot of attention to. And yeah, just continuing to build the great relationships that we've already created.
So tell me, encourage a woman who's sitting there at home at the moment, who is saying, I'm stuck, because I think that's the biggest thing for people. It's like, I'm stuck, I can't go out, I can't do this, and so on. Just from the energy that you managed to get out there, that it's not necessarily being stuck, it's also about finding spaces where there are opportunities and use them.
Yes. Yes. I think, even before finding spaces that you can leverage and utilize, because I also feel like Boss Babes of South Africa is very much a channel. So my advice is, if you're sitting there stuck, for me, woman empowerment, self-worth, it starts from within you. It starts from, it is innate within you. So I feel like the first thing is for you to be able to find who you are as a person. And I feel like through years of social conditioning, many of us don't even know who we are. And that's the first place that I would advise women to spend some time reflecting and find out like who you are. What do you like? What do you enjoy doing as a human being? And then pursue that, right? If there's something that you really want to do and you say, this is something that I've loved ever since I was a kid or whatever the case is, start to pursue that passion. Because I think even in the world that we live in today, we want to copy people on social media. We forget, that we are unique and maybe we've got something really unique to offer the world. So find who you are, pursue your passion. And then, if you want to turn it into a business, or if you want to turn it into something bigger, just know that you need to have passion for whatever it is that you're choosing to do. And it needs to be a passion that is coming from your authentic, true or higher self. And I think that is the biggest advice to start with. Find your self-worth. Sometimes it's, hidden under the opinions of others.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in yourself, feel like an empowered woman, because I think even in woman empowerment these days is such a buzzword.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's throwing it around. It's a trending sort of word. And for me, I think that was also a barrier that we wanted to break, to say, you need to work on yourself to feel like an empowered woman
Mm-hmm.
and bring that through to the platform, because no platform in South Africa is going to wave a magic wand and make you feel empowered if
Mm-hmm.
you are not feeling it from within and from inside of you. And I think that's a really, really important barrier that we needed to break as well, to say, find yourself, be your best self, and, join the brand, because then you're going to be able to offer something that is really unique and something that resonates with you.
And I love what you're saying because it's something that we miss. We think you'll just come out and be perfect, and it requires a lot of work. Just the journey that you talk about, the 15 months. Surely there
Yeah.
was a lot of internal work that took place, and I'm sure your
Yeah.
first appearances or events, when you refer back to them, I always laugh when I look at my first videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Reflect. But the important thing for me was I started, and that's what
That's
matters.
it. That's it.
And
That's
the
it.
starting also is taking accountability upon yourself that you know what, I will get better as I'm going along. So what kept you afloat for 15 months? Because I know with starting up a social media following and starting platforms, sometimes you can be out there and there's just no response. How do you keep going?
Right. Right.
This is like that. And just preparing someone who's set to go out there that it is not all rosy and you have the 10,000
It is not.
subscribers. It
Yeah.
takes a lot of effort.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not a rosy road. I know sometimes when we follow influencers on social media, we think, oh, how did they get there? I could never do that. But I think for me, the key is consistency. If you want to build a presence on social media, my tip is to post at least once a day. Make sure that you're doing hashtag research, which is really, really important. People sometimes, don't give that enough importance, but actually do your hashtag research. Make sure that it's specific to your niche, because I think that's the biggest mistake that many people make.
Mhm.
And stay true to your dream. For me, I've also learned through the months of the platform growing. Your self-worth is not determined by the number of likes, the number of shares,
Mhm.
the number of comments you get. And I think that is the very, very important thing to just bear in mind, that even though your platform is growing, even though you're consistent and you're starting to get a lot of feedback, that is not your self-worth. The number of likes that you get is not your self-worth. It is something that is independent of social media. And I think that's a really important thing to always keep at the back of your mind while you're growing this platform. And yeah, we'll also be launching some social media masterclasses on Boss Babes of South Africa, just to help our community as well, along with some tips and tricks on how to grow. And I mean, I did not study anything digital. So I pretty much learned the ropes, on the floor, trial and error, watching YouTube videos, for example. So I think where there's a will, there's a way. If I can get to 15,000 followers in just over 16 months, I think the advice is to post consistently and never let your dream be faded. Just have that vision and keep going. Even if you get 5 likes, it's good. It means 5 people. You've changed probably the mood of 5 people, which in itself is quite amazing.
Amazing. And then tell me, where do people find you if they're looking for you? I suppose for
Right.
the boss babes and Kovini, because some will be watching and say, wow, this is a dynamite. I just want to follow her and hear and sponge off all this wisdom that she gives. Yeah.
So definitely to register on our website is the first prize, www.bossbabesofsouthafrica.co.za. Register, tell us what are some of your skills that you'd like to offer towards the platform, and then you can connect with us on Instagram and LinkedIn, Facebook. We've got a group as well, but more Instagram and LinkedIn for now.
Wonderful. Kovini, this was so enjoyable. The time just went through, and I'm
I
sure we'll
know.
have you back more and more and more just to give the ladies a bit of, sometimes you need that sister that will just give you a boost. And you did just that for me. And I'd like to really recognize you for, it's not been just the boss babe movement, but it's been just the persona that you are. I mean, we started up as a group of WhatsApp group, not even on a boss babe platform. But I suppose the
Yes,
energy that
yes.
you always gave off, and you gave of yourself, you supported the others, has always been authentic. It's not about the Boss Babes band as now, but you've
Yeah.
always been that persona. Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing for women, for empowering women, and for giving them practical tools, because we talk empowerment, but we don't give people tools that they can use and take through life. It's been such an honor, and thank you very much for coming through.
It's been an honor as well. Thank you, Kumza, and all the very best with your ventures as well.
Thank you so much.